teach personal storytelling, people always tell me, like, I don't have nothing ever interesting ever happened to me. In the similar vein of personal storytelling, this next story was the first story that Nathan Brosy ever told me. It was a story that he auditioned with. And then a couple weeks ago, I said, why did you ever do that story? He's like, I don't know, why did I do that story? Because it's super good. This is Nathan Brosy.
I would not be alive if it weren't for Dairy Queen. 1984. It's the middle of a Friday rush. Dana is frantically making blizzard after blizzard, banana split after banana split, dip cone after dip cone. They're up 3 orders and Stacy says, Dana, what is up? I'm sorry, Stace. I just got a lot on my mind. I gotta babysit later tonight at 6 and promise next week, and I don't have a date. This isn't the time, Dana. Can we get some help up here? Where's Geoff? Enters Geoff. The manager. Sorry, guys, I was doing managerial things in the back. Oh, I'm here now. How can I help? Well, Geoff, we're 3 orders behind. Dana has all this ice cream to make, and she needs a date for prom. Stacy, shut up! Well, I can help with the ice cream, but do you really need a date for prom? I mean, yeah. Are you allowed to do that? You're like 3 years older than me, and you're my boss, but it's the 80s. Nobody really cares. I mean, I've got my dad's old tuxedo. I'll pick you up from your house. Well, actually, I'll be at the house that I'm babysitting at. Here, let me get you the address. Do you think you can find it? Yeah, I've got an atlas. I should be able to find it. I have no idea how you got around in the 80s. But you found it. Some 80s magic. And he rolled up, wearing his dad's old tuxedo and his Chevelle Malibu that he called the Green Machine. Because it was green. And he was a perfect gentleman. He knocked on the door and there she was. His coworker. They were just going as friends, no big deal, but he still opened the door for her everywhere that they went. And they were at prom. I have no idea what the theme was. I imagine it was Enchantment Under the Sea or some Back to the Future crap like that. But there was a big giant disco ball glowing down on all the punch, all the mullets, and everything else. And they slow danced to Wonderful Tonight by Eric Clapton. Now, again, I wasn't there for this, but she looked at him and he looked at her, and they must have felt something. Because Dana stopped them and said, you want to get out of here? And Geoff said, well, it's your prom. We can do whatever you want. Sure, what do you want to do? She looked him dead in the eyes and said, there is nothing in this world I want more than to split a pineapple pizza with you. Okay. Never had pineapple on pizza before, but sure, let's give it a shot. And they did. And that night they talked for hours about everything. About how they both have too many half and step siblings to count, how Geoff was a runaway from Seattle, how they both went through a perm phase. They had the night. And then it was time for Geoff to go home, because he was a perfect gentleman. But before he did, he kissed her and left. And drove straight to his best friend Scott's house. Now, Scott had been Geoff's best friend for many years. And he also worked at Dairy Queen, but really he was starting up his own band. It was just him and his bass guitar right now, but Scotty and the Birds was gonna happen. And Geoff and Scott sat on the hood of the Green Machine and drank Rollin' Rock, and Geoff was telling Scott the night he had just had. Scott, I slow danced. I don't know. I have a feeling. I think Dana is the one. We talked for hours. We had a pineapple pizza. What? I know, man, I slow dance. No, the pineapple pizza? Yeah, you should really try it. I'm not gonna. Look, man, I'm really happy for you, but didn't you hear? Ken's sister's back from college. Ken's sister. And Geoff. How can I say this without Charlie getting upset? They dated, but didn't date. They just dated. Hard. But it didn't matter. Geoff had something special with Dana, and he knew that. And he hung out with her every single day. They had pineapple pizza together. He picked her up from school, brought her to work, took her home, and this went on for about a month until one day, Geoff showed up late for work, covered in hickeys. And Dana, she looked at him, and he looked at her, and she knew that the blizzard of their relationship was now a banana split because he was being a total dip cone. That night, and every night after that, Ken's sister sat in the dining room of the Dairy Queen, waiting for Geoff to get off work. Dana, seeing this night after night, hatched a plan. And on the last Thursday of that summer, they were closing down the store as per usual. Ken's sister was there. And who popped their head in but Scott? And he said, "Hey Dana, you about ready to go get a pizza or whatever?" Yeah. And she said, "Yeah, let me grab my coat. Geoff, can I go? I'm leaving with your best friend Scott. Can I?" Geoff, seeing his best friend with the girl that he had special feelings for, that were oh so special, was filled with a burning anger that melted at his soul like a poorly made Oreo blizzard. But he said, "You can go. Have a good night." And he left with Ken's sister and his head held low. The next morning, Ken's sister decided to go back to college early. Probably to date some other guys, but that's just one offspring's opinion. And she said, "Geoff, I'm gonna go back to school now. I'll see you next summer, okay?" And he said, "Okay, bye." Okay. Because he was angry. Angry at something. What could he do? He knew there was only one person he could face. Scott. He hopped in the green machine and headed straight for Scott's house. And he banged on Scott's door and said, "Scott, get out here! I need to speak to you man to man. I'm here to kick your ass, Karate Kid style!" And Scott opened the door. He said, "Whoa, best friend, what's going on here?" He said, "Scott, I messed up. I had something special with Dana, and you mentioned Ken's sister, and I had a moment of weakness. I'm the bad guy. I'm Johnny from Cobra Kai. I'm Apollo Creed. I'm Biff Tannen, for Christ's sake." So I guess it's the bad guy. There's only one thing left to do, and that is to kick your ass. And Scott said, "Whoa, best friend. I didn't date Dana. We went on a date, but we didn't date. We didn't philosophize or anything." Geoff, realizing that he still might have a chance, well, he made like a tree and he got the hell out of there. And he looked at his watch. He looked at his watch. It was Friday night, 6 p.m. He knew exactly where Dana would be. Meanwhile, Dana was putting baby Jason to sleep. The baby's name was Jason. When she heard the doorbell, well, this isn't my house, but it is the 80s. And she opened the door, and it was him. In his hand was a bouquet of flowers and a cardboard box. She looked at him, and he looked at her, and he opened up the box, and inside was a pizza, spelled out, "I'm sorry," in pineapple. Well, that was cheesy. And she forgave him. After that, Dana and Geoff only dated twice. Once in 1988, when my sister was born. And again in 1995, when I was born. Because that's the only time my parents ever had sex.